Hello everybody, Inter back again with another video. Today's video, guys, is going to be, of course, about the match between Roger Federer and Grigor Dimitrov. A match that Grigor Dimitrov won in 5 sets. Federer won the first set 6-4. I'm sorry, 6-3. Then Grigor won the second set 6-4. Then Federer won the third set 6-3. Then Grigor won the fourth set 6-4. And the fifth and the decider set, Grigor won 6-2. A close match. It is always close match when it is a 5-set battle, but the fifth set, Grigor was clearly the better player than Roger Federer, because he won it in 6-2, so Federer was not that close to winning that fifth set. All in all, Grigor played a much cleaner match than Roger Federer, my friends. Federer, he did an okay match, not more than so, but he just didn't a clean match, Federer. You cannot win against Grigor Dimitrov by doing 61 unforced errors and by only structing and by only hitting 40 winners. So Federer does 21 more unforced, 20 more. Federer does 21 more unforced errors than he does winners. So then you cannot be victorious against a good in shape Grigor Dimitrov at the moment, clearly, because Grigor, he did 41 unforced errors, I believe, and 35 winners. So Grigor was only doing 6 more unforced errors than winners. Only 6 more, my friends. And Federer, 21 more unforced errors than winners. So there you have it. One stat that was not in Roger Federer's advantage. Federer strikes 21 more unforced errors than winners. Grigor strikes 6 more unforced errors than winners. In all other stats that I've seen and I've looked, it is pretty similar. Federer, he served, I believe, 61% first serves in. Grigor serves 69. Grigor serves better, higher percentage of first serves in. But first serve points won, Federer wins 74. Grigor wins 75. So that is not a big difference. Second serve points won, Federer wins 50%. Grigor wins 53. Not a crazy difference as well. There as well. Grigor just 3 more better than Federer in that stat. Breakpoint conversions also pretty similar. Federer breakpoints saved. Federer breakpoints saved is 67%. Grigor's is 71. Not crazy different there as well. So first points won. First returns points won. Federer in that stat is 25. Grigor is 26, similar there as well. Second points returns won. Here is the big difference, my friends. And am I shocked about this stat? No. Here is the big difference in the match. Second returns point won. Federer is 30%, my friends. 30%. That is a low percentage, but I'm not crazy shocked. Why? Because we all know that Federer is not the greatest serve returner in the world. In my opinion, Federer is a weak serve returner. He is a weak. To compare him with Nadal, Djokovic, a prime Murray, Federer is not even close to those guys. He is not even close. And he is showing that in this match against Grigor. He is only 30% on second returns point won. To compare that with Grigor Dimitrov, who is not a crazy great serve returner as well, but he clearly was that. He was clearly a better returner in this match. Grigor was 48% in this stat, 48 in the second return points won, 48. That is a big difference in the match. It is a big difference in the match, my friends, here between Grigor Dimitrov and Roger Federer. Here is the big difference, my friend. And on the winners and unforced error stats, like I was saying to you guys earlier. The big difference in the match is the second points returns won. Federer is winning 30% of them, Grigor is winning 48% of them. And the unforced errors stats. Federer is doing 61 unforced errors, 20 more unforced errors than Grigor Dimitrov. 20 more. Grigor is doing 41 unforced errors. Federer is doing 61 unforced errors. So that is the big difference in the match, my friends. On the winners part, Federer did 40 winners. Grigor did 35 winners. Similar stats there as well. But on the unforced errors part, Federer is doing 61 unforced errors and Grigor is doing 41 unforced errors. So Federer is doing 20 more unforced errors than Federer. All in all, my friends, Grigor Dimitrov played a much cleaner match. On the breakpoint conversions, Federer is, I believe Federer braked 4 times of 14 opportunities. That is not a great stat as well. But we all know that Federer is not the greatest player of converting breakpoints, even though that he has actually improved that stat this year. He has converted more breakpoints than this season 2019 than we have seen in previous years. But clearly in this match, Federer was back in old sins by not converting breakpoints. He only braked 4 times of 14 opportunities. That is not a great stat. But am I surprised? No, I am not surprised. I believe Federer was 29 on breakpoints conversions, 29% on breakpoints conversions, and Grigor was 33% in breakpoint conversions. Like I said in my preview, my tennis friends, Federer is an overwhelming favorite. It would be a huge surprise if Federer doesn't win, but we all know that Federer can beat himself, and in kind of way Federer did beat himself in this match. And this is the big difference between Federer and Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal never beats himself. He just doesn't do it. It is not in his text. It is not in it is not in his book. It is not on his list to beat himself. I'm not saying that Rafael Nadal is impossible to beat, because he isn't. He is a human being as well, like everyone else in this world. But if Rafa loses, he will lose by someone beating him. He will not beat himself. Federer beat it himself with 61 unforced errors. Federer beat it himself with 30%. Second serve points won with 30%. You just, and Federer only did 6 aces. My God, when have Federer done 6 aces in a 5-set match? 6 aces. And we have some people who say that Federer is as 38 years old as is playing his best tennis of his life. Some people are saying that. When I read some comments in the YouTubes and different social medias. Come on, but don't be insane, my friends. Federer is not playing his best tennis of his life. What are you talking about, for God's sakes? When have you ever seen Federer doing 6 aces in a 5-set match? 6 aces, for God's sakes. Come on, just give me a break. Federer is not playing his tennis of his best tennis of his life. Federer is playing still solid tennis as 38 years old. He's world number 3. All credit to him for that. It is impressive to be world number 3. It is impressive to go to quarterfinals and slams. It is impressive to be just 1 point away of winning Wimbledon, like it was 6, 7, 8 weeks ago against Djokovic. But he's not playing his best tennis of his life. Absolutely not. He's still playing good. He's still going deep on slams. It is to go on the quarterfinals and slams. It is a success. Not in Federer's status, of course, because of the reason who Roger Federer is. But you know what I mean. You get my point. It is not everybody are going to quarters and semis and finals in the Grand Slam. But Federer is still doing that as 38 years old. So all credit to Federer for that. But he's not playing his best tennis of his life. Absolutely not. This was this is the upset of the tournament, my friends. I believe it is the upset of the tournament because Federer he owned Grigor Dimitrov before this match, 7-0 on the head-to-head. Like I said in my preview, Grigor Dimitrov has never defeated Roger Federer before, and I think Grigor has only taken 2 sets from Federer before, if I'm not mistaken. Two sets, and not in the same match, but in different matches. And now he defeats Roger Federer for the first time in his career, and he's doing that in a Grand Slam, which is more impressive. And Grigor Dimitrov is who bloody hell believed this, that Grigor Dimitrov, who has been a mess in almost 2 years time, who we have not seen him doing great performances since that World Tour final 2017. Now all of a sudden he goes to a Grand Slam semi-final for the 3rd time in his career. He did it for the first time in 2014 Wimbledon, he did it for the 2nd time in 2017 Australian Open, and now he's doing that for the 3rd time in 2019 US Open. He has been just way out in the ranking. I believe at the current moment he is in the 78th world ranking, but we all know that he doesn't belong there. He is much better than that. In my opinion, Grigor Dimitrov definitely is one of top 20 best tennis players in the world. He has the talent, he has the shots, he has a solid serve. Even though I think he did a lot of double faults in this match against Roger Federer. I believe he did 12 double faults all in all. But anyway, he has a solid serve. He's not a bad server. He's a shot maker. He can do really good shots from his forehand, but his backhand is a weakness, in my opinion. His backhand is a weakness, even though that he has improved his backhand throughout the years. But he has been inconsistent in almost two years' time now. Like I said, since that World Tour final 2017, when he won that title, his biggest title that he has won so far in his career. And nobody expected Grigor to go to a Grand Slam semi-final in this year's US Open. Nobody. Can anyone say me that somebody was expecting that Grigor would go to this Grand Slam semi-final? Nobody. But he has done it now. He defeated Roger Federer for the first time. Roger Federer has won his last Grand Slam title, my friends. I said it already after he blew those 2 championship points against Novak Djokovic 7 weeks ago. I said it already back then. When he couldn't convert only one last point to win his 21st Grand Slam title, how in hell will he win? And will he add another Grand Slam title to his name when he's 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000? I don't know how many points away you are when you start a Grand Slam tournament from 0. But it has to be over 500 points away. At least over 500 points away. And I said it already then, and I will say it today as well. Roger Federer will not win another Grand Slam title. He's 38 years old. Players will beat him more and more. Like I said, when he lost to Rublev in Cincinnati, that was not a crazy surprise there. This, to me, is a little more surprise because Grand Slams, it should be more harder to defeat these big 3, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic on Grand Slams. Especially coming from a guy from Grigor who has been a mess in almost 2 years' time now. Rublev, he was in good form. He defeated some great players before he defeated Roger Federer in that Cincinnati. He defeated Thiem, he defeated Tsitsipas, he defeated Stan as well before defeating Roger Federer in that Cincinnati, and it was a 3-set match. It is easier to defeat these big 3 in 3 sets. We all know that. So this defeat from Roger against Grigor Dimitrov is a more surprise to me. To me, at least. I don't know to you guys. So now it is a great big congratulations to Grigor Dimitrov. After having so tough times in almost 2 years' time now, this year 2019 has been a disaster for him. I don't know if he has won 2 straight matches in a row. I don't know. For sure, I don't think he has won 3 straight matches in a row in this year. For sure. Even 2 matches in a row, I'm doubtful. I don't know for sure. But for 3 matches in a row, he has not won this year. But now he has won 5 matches in a row here in US Open. So this is a big success for him. Big congratulations to Grigor Dimitrov. He was the better player against Roger Federer. Not with much, but with little at least. He, like I said earlier in this video, in some stats he was the better player than Roger Federer. Big congratulations to Grigor Dimitrov. He will not win this tournament. Who knows what will happen? This tournament has been so far the upset tournament where big names have lost. We had 4 top 10 players who lost already in the first round. Team Tsitsipas, Karen Khachanov, and RBA. 4 players who already lost in the first round. We had 3 players who lost in the first round in Wimbledon. Team Tsitsipas and Zverev. But here in US Open, the case was even worse. 4 players. And then the world number 1, the defending champion Novak Djokovic, lost in that 4th round. And now the world number 3, Roger Federer, the Grand Slam leader of all time with 20 Grand Slam titles to his name, is losing in the quarterfinals against Grigor Dimitrov, and he's tasting his first ever defeat against Grigor Dimitrov in 8 meetings. This was their 8th meeting in the head-to-head. So now it is Rafael Nadal's tournament to lose, really. It is Rafael Nadal's tournament to lose. And you know what I've said before, my friends. Rafael Nadal doesn't lose to anybody's. When Rafa loses, just look at the matches he has lost in Grand Slams this year. Australian Open, Novak Djokovic in the final. French Open, he won. Wimbledon to Roger Federer in that semi-final 7 weeks ago. Now we don't have any Djokovic left in the draw. We don't have any Roger Federer left in the draw. So if Rafa doesn't win this tournament, if Rafa doesn't take this golden opportunity now, he will be very disappointed in himself. His fans will be very disappointed in himself. But I just can't see how Rafa will lose this now. We have the players who are left in the draw. They have beaten him all in all only 3 times. I believe Gael Monfils has defeated him only 2 times, and that has not been in slams. I believe Rafa Nadal is 14-2 in the head-to-head against Gael Monfils. Berrettini, I believe he has never faced before. Against Diego Schwartzman, Diego has never defeated Rafa Nadal. I think Rafa is 7-0 in the head-to-head against Diego Schwartzman, if I'm not mistaken. Dimitrov has never defeated... Dimitrov has only defeated Rafa Nadal 1 time. And Medvedev has never defeated Rafa Nadal. They only faced each other 1 time, and that was in that Montreal for a couple of weeks ago when Rafa destroyed Medvedev. So the players who are left in the draw, they only have 3 victories together. And it is Gael Monfils, 2 victories, and it is Grigor Dimitrov, only 1 victory. And they have been outside Grand Slams, of course. And in the Grand Slams, it is even harder to defeat Rafa Nadal. So this is the tournament to lose for Rafa Nadal. I said it already when Novak lost. Now, for the favorite to me to win this tournament, it is Rafa Nadal. I had Novak as my favorite before the event started. When Novak lost, it is Rafael Nadal. It is Rafa Nadal who is my favorite. Roger Federer was never the favorite to win the tournament, even when Novak lost. Even though I believed that Roger would go to that final, I didn't believe that he would lose to Grigor Dimitrov, but he did. And like I've said before, you never can be sure about Roger Federer. He can play great matches like he did against Goffin and like he did against Evans, but those two never really tested him. They never showed up, especially Goffin. He was a disaster, Goffin, really. He just never showed up in that 4th round match against Federer. But Grigor, he has finding some range in this match. He has finding some really good hitting. He has found a really good shots in this match, and he just fancied his chances. And in the end of the day, when a 28 years old Grigor Dimitrov faces a 38 years old Roger Federer, he will have all his chances to beat him. Let's face it, my friends, to be 10 years younger in sports, you should really have a golden opportunity to beat that guy. So this is the tournament's biggest upset, in my opinion, but we all should not be that crazy shocked, really. We really should not be that crazy shocked, considering that Roger Federer is not as good as he was before. He really isn't, even though we have some crazy people who believes that, but they don't know what they are talking about, really. They really doesn't know what they are talking about. I will say it again. 6 aces from Roger Federer in a 5-set match. I have never seen that before. I have never seen that before. In a 5 sets, Federer to do 6 aces. I have never seen that before. I don't need to say any more things. Is Roger Federer better now than he has been before? Because that is absolutely not the case. Alright, my friends, this is it for me today. Unfortunate we couldn't have a Federer US Open final. Unfortunate we couldn't have a first ever meeting between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal in US Open for the first time. But what can we do? This is tennis, this is sport. They are all there to compete against each other, and they are all there to beat each other. And they don't care who is on the other side of the net. Is it Roger Federer, is it Rafa Nadal, or is it Novak Djokovic? And Roger Federer, he didn't do his best match today. He did okay match, but not a good match. He didn't do a good match. Like I've said before, Roger, you don't need to do your match of your life to beat Roger Federer. You really don't know. You really don't need to do that. And Grigor didn't do his best match of his life. Absolutely not. He did a solid match. That was it. He did a solid, good match. Even good, I don't know if I can call it, but solid at least. Solid at least. But Federer, he helped him on the way with 61 unforced errors, with only 30% winning second return points won, with only 30%, with only doing 6 aces in 5 sets, and with only doing 40 winners in 5 sets. Federer uses to do more winners than 40 winners in the course of a 5-set match. So Roger Federer absolutely helped Grigor Dimitrov to win this match. It was not all Grigor's credit. It was a lot of Grigor's credit, but not all Grigor's credit, my friends. Absolutely not. And Rafa will never go down in this way like Roger did. He will never do it. I can say it already now. Rafa just is a beast. Federer is not a beast. Federer is... I will call these big three players in this way. Federer is an artist. A magician. Artist. A magician on the court. Rafa is a beast. Rafa is a beast when he plays tennis. He already, you see Rafa when they toss up who will serve, he bounces on the court. He already shows this to his opponent that I'm here to beat you. I'm here to go to the next round. I'm here to come out this court victorious. And if you want to beat me, you have to beat me. I will never beat myself. I will never beat myself like Federer can do. Federer beat it himself against Millman last year. Federer beat it himself not to the same extent like he did against Millman, but not that far away in this match against Grigor. Rafa will never go down this way. He will never do it. Period. He will never do it. Rafa maybe will lose. Maybe. I don't think he will do it. Maybe he will lose. But if he does it, then he will do it to a player who will do his match of his life. Not a player who is not doing his match of his life. Not a player who is just doing a solid match like Grigor did against Federer today. A solid match. But that was enough to defeat Roger Federer. Why? Because Roger Federer, he helps his opponents on his way. He did that against Millman last year. He's doing that against Grigor in this today's match, and he, to some extent, he did that against Djokovic as well in Wimbledon, because Federer should never lost that Wimbledon final, never. Can you imagine Rafa Nadal to have 2 championship points in French Open, in his best Grand Slam tournament, in his own serve, 40-15? Can you imagine Rafa Nadal losing? Can you imagine Rafa Nadal losing? No, never. But Federer do it. Federer did that. In his home guard, in his home castle, in Wimbledon, where he has won most titles of all time in Wimbledon, 8 titles. He did that. Why? Because Federer is this way. Federer is this way, unfortunately he is. And that was his last shot to get another Grand Slam title. That was it. I said it already then, and I will say it now. I will say it today as well. I'm not as disappointed, I'm not as angry this match. Why? Because it was a quarterfinal. Because Rafa Nadal still was left on the draw. Because he was not 1 point away of winning a Grand Slam title. I'm not as angry today. I'm not as sad today. I'm not as disappointed today. I am not. But I'm still not happy. I'm still not happy that Roger lost. Of course I'm not. But it is what it is. Congratulations to Grigor Dimitrov. He deserved this victory, absolutely. Now it is this tournament will be won by Rafa Nadal. It will be won by Rafa Nadal. I just can't see Rafa losing this. This upset from Grigor Dimitrov. This victory from Grigor Dimitrov today, it is not good for the tournament. It really isn't, because we don't have any excitement left anymore. I said it. Rafa is overwhelming favorite now. Only of these players who has left in the draw, he has lost only 3 matches. 2 against Golman, 1 against Grigor Dimitrov. All the others have never defeated Rafa Nadal. Never. And these 3 losses that Rafa has from these players who are left in the draw, they are outside Grand Slams. They are outside Grand Slams. In Grand Slams, they have never defeated him. So, and Rafa, he just doesn't lose to these guys. The only way I can see Rafa losing now, if something similar happens, what happened in 2014 Australian Open, when both Federer, both Djokovic, they lost before that Australian Open final. 2014, and Rafa was the overwhelming favorite in that Australian Open final against Stan Wawrinka 2014, but Rafa got hurt his back after the first set, and this is the only way I can now see Rafa losing, because Rafa is a beast. He will not let this opportunity slip from his hands. He just will not do it. I believe so anyway. He just will not do it. Rafa, like I said, is a beast. Federer is an artist, and Djokovic is a terminator. These 3, on this category, I separate the big 3. And so, for me, this tournament is not so much fun to watch anymore. It really isn't. For Rafa fans, it still is very fun, because Yuga is left in the draw. Yuga is the overwhelming favorite now. Rafa, I believe, feels pretty comfortable, pretty fine with his, and I believe he fancies his chances to lift the trophy on Sunday. Alright guys, this is it from me today. Congratulations to Grigor Dimitrov. Roger has won his last Grand Slam title. Roger's last shot was against in that Wimbledon final 7 weeks ago. He didn't took it, and I think Roger Federer will stay with 20 Grand Slam titles, unfortunately. Alright, take care and bye bye.